Hey football fans! Welcome back to Next Play Analysis. In today's video, we're diving into the Week 11 matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles, 7-2, and the Washington Commanders, 7-3. We'll break down key stats, top betting insights, and predictions to help you make informed wagers. Let's jump in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more NFL analysis and betting tips. Now let's start with the last 5 matches of Team Philadelphia Eagles. Week 6. Starting in Week 6, the Eagles fought hard to beat the Cleveland Browns 20-16. It was a close game, but they showed resilience under pressure. Week 7. In Week 7, they shut down the New York Giants with a 28-3 victory, dominating both sides of the ball. Week 8. Week 8 brought a 37-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Eagles' offense and defense both playing at a high level. Week 9. In Week 9, the Eagles held on to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars, 28-23. It was a tight game, but they kept their composure. Week 10. Finally, in Week 10, the Eagles delivered a dominant 34-6 win over the Dallas Cowboys. A complete performance all around. Now let's quickly break down the key players for the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of their game against the Washington Commanders. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has 1,976 passing yards, 12 TDs, and 5 interceptions. He's also rushed for 371 yards and 6 touchdowns, making him a dual-threat quarterback. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has 553 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging an impressive 19.75 yards per reception. He's been a big play machine for the Eagles. Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith has 487 yards and 4 touchdowns. His chemistry with Hurts continues to grow, and he's a reliable target. Darius Slay. Defensively, Darius Slay has 19 solo tackles and 1 forced fumble. While he hasn't yet picked off a pass, he's crucial in coverage. Let's jump onto a quick look at the latest injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts. Quarterback Jalen Hurts is good to go. Despite some minor injuries earlier this week, he's fully participated in practice and is expected to start. Devonta Smith. Wide receiver Devonta Smith has been dealing with a hamstring issue but was limited in practice on Friday. He's still expected to play in this game. Fletcher Cox. Defensive tackle Fletcher Cox is nursing a knee issue but is not listed as doubtful and should be ready for action. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, also battling a hamstring problem, missed practice on Friday. His status is still under review, but he's likely to play. Josh Sweat. Finally, edge rusher Josh Sweat is dealing with a hip issue but participated in limited practice on Friday and is expected to suit up. Now let's dive into the Philadelphia Eagles' latest stats as they prepare for their Week 11 matchup. Offensive stats. The Eagles have been strong on offense, with a total of 3,365 yards gained. They've posted 1,981 passing yards and 1,585 rushing yards, averaging 5.6 yards per play. They've scored 28 total touchdowns so far this season. Defensive stats. On defense, the Eagles have totaled 191 tackles and 25 sacks. They've allowed 2,467 yards, with 1,732 yards through the air and 906 on the ground. Their defensive line will need to stay strong to limit the Commanders' offensive attack. Passing stats. Quarterback Jalen Hurts leads the charge with 1,976 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. The Eagles have an impressive 103.43 passer rating, showing they are dangerous through the air. Rushing stats. On the ground, the Eagles have totaled 1,585 rushing yards, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. They've scored 6 rushing touchdowns and will look to control the clock and move the ball with a balanced attack. Now let's take a look at last 5 matches of Team Washington Commanders. Week 6. The Commanders faced a tough road test against the Ravens, ultimately falling 30-23. Despite a strong effort, Washington struggled to keep up with Baltimore's offense. Week 7. In a dominant performance, the Commanders cruised to a 40-7 victory over the Panthers. The offense was explosive, and the defense held strong, delivering a blowout win that boosted their momentum. Week 8. Washington secured a narrow 18-15 win against the Bears. It was a hard-fought battle where the Commanders' defense stepped up when it mattered most, ensuring a close but crucial victory. Week 9. The Commanders bounced back with a solid 27-22 win over the Giants in an important NFC East matchup. The team showed resilience and held onto their lead for the victory. Week 10. Washington lost a heartbreaker to the Steelers, 28-27, in a nail-biting finish. Despite leading for much of the game, they couldn't close it out in the final moments, falling just short. Now let's look at a breakdown of these key Washington Commanders players. Jayden Daniels, quarterback. Daniels has a strong passer rating of 101.75, with 2,147 yards and 9 touchdowns against only 2 interceptions. His accuracy and decision-making will be crucial in facing the Eagles' defense. Brian Robinson, running back. Robinson has carried the ball 101 times, gaining 461 yards with an average of 4.56 yards per carry and scoring 6 touchdowns. His ability to grind out yards on the ground provides balance to the Commanders' offense. Terry McLaurin, wide receiver. McLaurin has hauled in 47 receptions for 711 yards, averaging 15.13 yards per catch, with 6 touchdowns. His speed and route running are vital in stretching the field and creating scoring opportunities. Bobby Wagner, linebacker. Wagner, with 41 solo tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble, is essential to the Commanders' defense. His presence and experience make him a key playmaker against the Eagles' offensive schemes. Dante Fowler Jr., defensive end. Fowler has been impactful on defense with 15 solo tackles, 8.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and an interception. His pressure on the edge will be instrumental in challenging the Eagles' quarterback. Moving on to the injury report for Team Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr., RB. Robinson is out for Week 11 due to a hamstring injury, which could hinder the Commanders' rushing attack and overall offensive balance. Marshawn Lattimore, CB. Lattimore is out with a hamstring injury, leaving a hole in the secondary that could make it easier for the Eagles' passing game to find success. Cornelius Lucas, T. Lucas will miss the game due to an ankle injury. This could weaken the offensive line and increase pressure on the quarterback. Austin Seibert, K. Seibert is listed as questionable with a right hip injury. His absence would force the Commanders to rely on a backup kicker, impacting their special teams unit. Andrew Wiley, G/T. Wiley is questionable with a shoulder injury. His availability will be crucial for maintaining offensive line depth and protection. Now let's dive into the Washington Commanders' latest stats as they prepare for their Week 11 matchup. Offensive stats. On offense, the Commanders have gained a total of 3,770 yards across 655 plays, averaging 5.8 yards per play. Their third down conversion rate stands at 44.7%, converting 55 out of 123 attempts. They've scored 30 total touchdowns, 17 through the air and 10 on the ground. Defensive stats. Defensively, the Commanders have allowed 3,249 total yards, with 21 sacks and 7 interceptions. They've given up 21 touchdowns, 17 through the air, 3 rushing, and 1 defensive touchdown. Passing stats. When it comes to passing, the Commanders have accumulated 2,350 yards on 199 completions out of 288 attempts, averaging 8.2 yards per pass. However, they've thrown 8 interceptions so far this season. Rushing stats. On the ground, the Commanders have racked up 1,535 rushing yards on 315 attempts, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. They've scored 10 rushing touchdowns, averaging 153.5 rushing yards per game. Now let's have a detailed breakdown on betting and predictions for the Week 11 matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders. 1. Moneyline. Explanation. A moneyline bet is straightforward. You're picking the winner of the game without any spread or margin of victory. Odds. Eagles, minus 170. Commanders, plus 142. Probability. Eagles have a 60.4% chance to win. Commanders have a 39.6% chance to win. Strategy tips. The Eagles are favorites due to their stronger overall performance, including a more potent offense and solid defense. However, the Commanders are capable of pulling off an upset, particularly with their effective rushing attack and ability to score points quickly. 2. Point spread. Explanation. The spread indicates the expected margin of victory. The Eagles, minus 3, need to win by more than 3 points, while the Commanders, plus 3, can either win outright or lose by less than 3 points to cover. Odds. Eagles -3, 51.7% chance to cover. Commanders plus, 48.3% chance to cover. Strategy tips. While the Eagles are favored to win, their games can sometimes be closer than expected. Commanders have the potential to cover the spread, especially with their offensive capabilities and the Eagles' occasional struggles in close games. 3. Over, under, total points. Explanation. This bet is about predicting whether the total combined points will be over or under a certain number. Total points. 49.5. Odds. Over 49.5. Minus 110. Under 49.5. Minus 110. Strategy tips. Both teams have potent offenses. The Eagles are averaging 26.3 points per game, while the Commanders average 23.3 points. With both teams being able to score efficiently, this game could potentially push the total over 49.5, making the over a reasonable bet. 4. Parlays. Explanation. Parlays allow you to combine multiple bets into one. To win, every bet within the parlay must be successful. Example, a 3-leg parlay could involve a moneyline bet on the Eagles, a spread bet on Eagles -3, and a total bet on over 49.5. Strategy tips. Parlays are riskier but can offer high returns. With the Eagles being the favorites, you could confidently parlay them with the spread and total bets. However, be cautious about combining too many bets in a single parlay, as it increases risk. 5. Teasers. Explanation. A teaser is a type of parlay where you adjust the spread or total to improve your chances of winning. Example, a 6-point teaser could change the Eagles spread from -3 to +3 or adjust the total points to 43.5. Strategy tips. A teaser can be useful in close matchups. Given the Commanders' ability to keep games close, a 6-point teaser could be a good option for improving your chances of winning, especially if you want to adjust the spread for a safer outcome. 6. Proposition bets. Player props. Jalen Hurts passing yards. Bet on whether Hurts will throw for over or under a certain amount, 250 yards. Brian Robinson rushing yards. Given Washington's strong rushing game, Robinson could exceed 80 rushing yards in this matchup. Team props. Eagles total rushing yards. The Eagles average 153.5 yards per game and could take advantage of the Commanders' defense to exceed this mark. Commanders total points. Washington has been scoring consistently, so betting on them to score over 20.5 points might be a strong option. Strategy tips. Player props often depend on recent form. Jalen Hurts is playing at a high level, and Brian Robinson is key in Washington's offense. 4 team props. Consider the Eagles' offense and how they exploit the Commanders' defense. Conclusion. In Week 11, the Eagles are the favorites, but the Commanders have the potential to make it a close game. The Eagles should win, but Washington might cover the spread and keep the game high-scoring. Whether betting on the money line, point spread, or total points, keep an eye on both teams' strengths. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more NFL insights and betting tips.